Hey, this is Aaron,
And this is Kristen.
and this is the Drive Mode Show.
Woohoo! Today we have a special guest, Teia Collier with Dallas Single Parents. We asked Teia to be our guest today to talk about cars for single parents. Makes sense, right?
Yeah,
What do you
we
think,
talk about
Aaron?
family cars a lot, so we thought, well, we should talk about family cars, but what about a different perspective? So you have the single parent and then a couple of kids, either part-time or full-time. How does, what kind of vehicle is perfect for that? So that's what we want to talk about today.
Yay!
Yeah, so Teia, do you have a list? Like, do you have a favorite or like a top five? Like, what do you recommend and why?
Of course I do. Of course I do. This is what I love. Okay, so let's preface all this by I have 3 kids, okay? And 2 of those kids are over 5, 6, okay? The youngest is in a car seat still. He's car seat, booster seat, depends on the day and the vehicle, which one's going to fit in the back seat. So, top one right now is probably the Toyota Highlander.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a
Good choice.
3-row.
It's
Yeah.
a 3-row. It's a 3-row. And the 3rd row, like there's actually space for real people that are over the age of 6. Tall people. People who don't sit. Yes, Noah. We have I know. Okay.
Parenting. Hashtag parenting life.
Hashtag real life. Hashtag real life. Okay, so the 3rd row, if you really don't need it, it's fine. There's still space for 3. You can put the oldest one in the front seat, you can put the oldest one in the back, either way. And that's what we did. I like to try musical chairs with these cars and see where the kids actually fit, because otherwise, Ford Escape, beautiful.
Yes,
Great
we have a
vehicle.
good review that we did at the Chicago Auto Show, Teia.
We
Yeah,
did. That was awesome. That's a great vehicle. That is a fantastic one. We're going luxury and we're going to go luxury. I'm going to say the BMW M5. I'm gonna say
Okay.
M5. Yeah.
big fan of that one. I like
Yeah.
that one a lot.
What did you like about it?
I like the way it drives. So it's a vehicle that, and this is true of a lot of BMW. You get into a larger BMW, and physically you feel like it should be, slow and take its time going around a corner, and maybe have some body roll. But none of them do that.
No.
They're all beautiful to drive,
That
and
stellar.
they match engines and transmissions with the acceleration that is needed for that vehicle, and they don't go over it. So they don't get over the top with power, but they're never underpowered. It's always right. Always well
I like the streamlined space. I like that car has lots of places to put all your crap. There's lots of places to put stuff. And it's got those creature comforts, but that make it feel special. But you're not so special that you're scared to have your kids eat in the car.
done.
Just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yes.
and another one of my favorites from BMW is the X5, and that's because the plug-in hybrid version of the big X5 is just so perfectly done,
Oh, I
and you're
haven't done
still
that one
getting
yet.
almost 40 miles a gallon
Just
in a
saying.
giant SUV. How do
Just
you
saying.
argue that?
Just saying. Nah, I mean, hello. If we're going pickup trucks, I'm probably going to pick the Nissan Titan. I'm probably going to pick
I
it.
love the Titan. I love the power. I love the zero gravity seats are so great for road trips. If you're traveling with your kids,
That.
traveling by yourself, those seats are number one.
And
Also-
I just had the new Titan Pro 4X,
Oh, how was
and I
that?
really liked it. So my biggest complaint with Nissan before with the Titan was the interior was the interior designer, and I know the guy, and I'm not faulting him, although I am, I guess. Anyway, that interior before
Gotta
was
turn that
really
down.
pulled from the Nissan, and specifically the Infiniti lineup. So it was right out of a luxury vehicle, but it was not truck. The knobs were too small, the buttons were too small, things were not, and then it looked it looked wrong because then you have that giant Louisville Slugger of a shifter, and you have all this other actual truck stuff in the thing, and so it just didn't fit, right? And
Exactly.
and so now they have remedied most of that. Most of that has changed. It's much better.
And it
I agree with
feels
Kristen on the
solid.
seating too. Yeah, it does.
It feels
They did
solid.
a wonderful job. My choice, though, if we're going to pickup trucks, I would actually go to a Ram. And the reason for that is just because for me, that's the best interior you can get. You don't get
It's
a
really
much better interior than that.
I'm
Then you go to the
yeah.
Crew Max, and you have the biggest back seat on the planet.
No, if I'm going to like a luxury pickup truck, I'm probably gonna go King Ranch F-250 because it's got it's got plug-in ports in the back. That back seat.
You really like saddle leather.
I do. I like leather. I like contrast stitching. I like those. I do. I mean, I'm figuring if I'm going to throw down some change on a pickup truck and I'm saying I want a luxury truck, I want a luxury truck. I want stuff in it. I want to feel it. I want to wipe that down and be like, ah.
That's what my son loved about the Lariat Longhorn. Am I saying that right?
Really?
Laramie Longhorn.
Laramie Longhorn.
And he's like, oh, I'm just gonna snuggle with this leather in the back seat.
Yes.
See, and I like the Laramie Longhorn because I like looking at the instrument cluster, because then I feel like Liberace, because there's so much like gold stuff happening in there.
I want it to feel like, here's my thing. You're in your car, and as a single parent, you're in your car, and some of my best conversations with my kids have happened in the car. We pick up from school, we go do things, and we talk. Like, they have entertainment stuff, but like they tell me about their day, they tell me about their stuff. We go get snacks, we do audiobooks. Life happens in our cars. And so it needs to be one of those kind of, I don't want to trade. I want everything in it. I want my truck to have safety tech. I want to be able to do my music. I want to hear a great sound system. Hello. I want it to be awesome, but I want it at a variety of price points. So, and that's what I see, you know. Also, I'm finding that like people are asking about cars again, which, you know, people are asking about cars. I was like, ooh, you know, you hear this little rumors, the sedan is gone. People aren't buying cars anymore. People love
We've
cars.
talked about that a lot, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. I'll tell you something too. When my girls were small, so it was just me and my two girls, one of my favorite vehicles, and I was this close to buying one, was a Mazda 3 hatchback, because it's a perfect little size, drives awesome.
I'm in that right now. Well, I'm in the CX-30, and I thought it's surprisingly good.
The next one I bring up,
it's
because they're just
fun.
Exactly the right size, and they drive beautifully. There's just so much fun, especially get the 2.5i. You know,
it's the trunk space.
Tons of fun. Yeah,
trunk space is beautiful. And like we put Noah in his car seat, and I put my nephew in his, like, he's a baby in it. I was like, let's see if I can put a car seat in the back of this. Just test it out and see if it works. No problem. Okay, there was no crazy maneuvering my body into a pretzel to try to get to the back seat. I could just click, get in, go. Get in, go. Yeah. It cooled off.
You know, to give a good size example, your kids are a little bit older, so they're adult sized. And when I drove the CX-30 the last time, I drove it for a little while with Matthew Valbuena from Mazda with me. And we had Tim Esterdall in the back seat. He's probably about the same size as your kids in terms of height, 5'6" or so. And he was really comfortable back there. When I sat back there, I was fine because
were you fine with your leg space?
Because the person in front of me was shorter, right? It was Tim in the front seat, and so the seat moved forward enough that I had leg room. So
that makes a difference.
As long as you don't have a lot of tall people, that's a perfectly sized vehicle.
I love the Mazda 3. I had that for a whole month when it was just Torn and I up in Indiana a couple summers ago. I thought the Mazda 3 at the time, I liked that even better than the Mazda 6, which is more expensive. But I think Mazda is unassumingly a wonderful drive.
Yes.
I think people sleep on Mazda, and they probably should.
Oh yeah.
Stop.
Well, Mazda has the same issue that Suzuki and a couple of other companies have had. Specifically, it's Japanese companies. They are really good at making cars. They're terrible at marketing. So they're really good at making them, terrible at selling them.
You know, and
that's not what they're good at.
My neighbors. So my neighbors know when delivery day is. They've figured it out now, and even my neighborhood police officers know when my delivery time is, and they do the slow creep by and they wave. Okay, and they're like, we like this one, and they give me commentary. The firefighters give me commentary on the vehicles. They're like, okay, so we love this one, and when they're not a fan, they're kind of. Or like right now I have the CX-30 and the Expedition out in front, and so like they come and they look at it and they're like, so can we see inside? And they love the CX-30. Okay, love it. They looked at it, they're like, does it look different? And I was like, it does look different. It's like all pretty in the front, and and they look to see if we can get the kids in, and they're like, they look in the trunk and they're like, try to get in, and they're like, sit down, and he's like, I think I need this for my teenager. I was like, and
that's a great teenager car.
It is.
Except that the audio in the car, like Aaron knows a lot more about this than I do, but they built that car around the audio system, so they're gonna be listening to it loud, maybe.
You gotta do it loud. That's part of the fun of the car. Part of the fun of it.
Well, I remember listening to Guns N' Roses' "Appetite for Destruction" on high in my car.
So I have another question. I have a question for Teia. What do you think of the GMC Acadia and the Chevy Traverse? So two different types of vehicle. One's a 2-row and one's a 3-row. And then there's a Chevy version of that GMC, and there's a Buick and GMC version of the Traverse. But what do you think of those two vehicles as family vehicles?
Yeah.
So the Traverse, actually, my neighbors, we walked through some vehicles to do that one. One, it came at a great price point for what they were going to do with it. And they wanted something that they could pass down to their teenagers in 3 years. And it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be safe.
And it has teen driver, right? It's already equipped with teen driver.
And so I really like that one. Like, I like it. I like that the seats are durable. So if they go mudding, fine. Wipe that bad boy down. It's pretty, and it's still, it's set up for life. It's set up to handle life. Now, the Acadia, I haven't done anything with, but the Traverse it's life-proof. You can do it. You can roll with it. They want to go out to West Texas and roll, drive, fine. It's easy. It's not great on gas.
I really enjoyed the Traverse. We took it on a family road trip.
How was it on a road trip?
It was great because it's really comfortable to start with, and then it's really ergonomic. So they really thought out the interior for how people would use it. So there's not only a lot of versatility, but there's just a lot of comfort and little things like just tiny storage spots you wouldn't have thought of until you need to put a tablet somewhere, or you need to put that extra drink that you're not working on right now somewhere. Lots of little space. It was like those types of crossovers have become today's minivan. So they have all of those little thoughts that minivans have.
I agree. I felt that way about it.
We have a Kia minivan, and the Sedona has, I think, 15 or 18 cup holders.
But that is but you need that kind of stuff if you're in a car with the kids, water and whatever else they're drinking, and you don't want them to be asking you.
Right. You need a place for drinks and USB ports. Those are the two
in the back.
you need with kids.
In the back, and you need what the Traverse had that I loved is we have solid country boys. Okay, they are big boys, so they fit fine. Nobody's head is touching the ceiling, and like they feel safe, and that's what I'm looking for, like in something like that. But not a minivan. Like they're not wanting a minivan because that's not what they're minivan.
Because it's one of my favorite things about Chevy products in general, and this is all GM products, so you'll see it in Buick, Cadillac, and so forth, is the marketplace on the infotainment. We used that to get coffee from Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
So somebody can just hit the button a couple times, and then you just go through the drive-thru and pick it up. Or you stop at the door and run in and get it.
It's
little things
intuitively
like that.
placed.
Yeah, and it tells you where fuel is. You can even use it to pay for the fuel. Lots of little things like that.
Ooh, I haven't tried that yet.
Are a big deal. And the easiest way to use it is just to load a gift card on it. So, get a prepaid Visa and just load it on there.
Smart.
And then if somebody steals your information, they're only getting whatever's on that little card.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And the Traverse too, like you were talking about, the GM products also have behind the steering wheel, like FCA does, where you can change the volume and the channel on the audio. And I love that because I'm always searching, seeking, changing up the music.
Scroller. Scrolling.
So let's go a different direction. What about Subaru? I'm a big fan of the Outback, and I also like the Ascent a lot.
I have not driven the Ascent. I've only driven the Outback, and it is a car crush. And it's so pretty.
Crush, people, not crash. Crush.
Yeah, crush.
It's a car crush.
It's a car crush. It's cute. One, it's cute. And my mom had a Subaru, I can't even remember what it was, but it had a little hatchback when I was a little girl. And so we used to traipse across Texas. So we used to drive from Dallas to Odessa, every other weekend to see my granny in this red Subaru. So I have, it's like a love affair for them, but car crush. And they have beautiful colors that are fantastic.
Yeah. The tungsten color that they have, that tungsten steel color, it's a beautiful color. And it's a car that's kind of universally liked. Yeah, I don't know of anybody who hates those things.
They go forever.
The Forester is a little more on the pole, right? People will not like the Forester, but they'll love the Outback at the same time. It's odd.
Would you call it an SUV or would you call it a crossover?
I would call the Outback a crossover.
I would too. It's almost wagony.
It's a station wagon.
Like a station wagon. Yeah. Is that so? Do people still say station wagon? I mean, I say station wagon, but
people try to stay away from it. But I use the word all the time because I love wagons. I think they're the greatest thing ever. Yeah.
It's fun.
I have fond memories of sitting the wrong way in the back of a Pontiac station wagon as a kid.
We used to go to the drive-in.
Not knowing how great that vehicle was. I had no idea. I didn't know that it was a GTO. I didn't know that. I would cut off my left arm for that car now. But as a kid, I just thought it was loud.
Well, see, because we're kids and you don't know any better. You're like, come on, young me. Come on, young me. Okay.
Dad, this is louder than the tractor, And he had it because the hospital gave it to him. It was because his car, the little
That's
car
awesome.
that car was was also the town ambulance when I was young. So you had the Starsky light, and there was a thing under the hood.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I think the kids like what FCA has already figured out, how Chrysler and Dodge with the Durango and with the Pacifica, those back of the seat screens are expensive for the manufacturer to put in, but people really like it and they can plug in their little gaming systems and everything. If you want to go on a road trip, really, you're covered.
Most people probably don't know, but with almost all the FCA products that are large enough to accommodate it, you don't have to get the factory version. There's a Mopar version that's an aftermarket add-on you can still get from the dealership that is cheaper. So you have a lot of range of choice there.
I mean, but Lexus does it too. They'll put them in the middle row. And we did it this last one, a couple weeks ago. They loved that thing. Only hiccup is if you lose the remote. Okay, you lose that remote and you are out of luck. Okay, you don't know.
That's the downer to the aftermarket versus the factory, the biggest one, because the factory version in FCA products, you can still control it from the infotainment screen.
See, and I would love that.
You can't do that with an aftermarket version.
I was
speaking of. Go ahead, Teia.
I was like, put it back, right back in its spot, in that one spot. Click it.
Please. Yeah, and speaking of Lexus, I like that Lexus and Toyota both now include their whole safety suite in all of their products, standard. And I think that's one of my favorite things about those two brands. I think the Lexus RX is another great family car.
That's a good one too.
Really
and
makes some good updates to
safety
it.
stuff is there for like for now. It's all connected for the 10 years, the first 10 years, which is beautiful.
And Lexus is at the top of the list for dependability at both JD Power and Consumer Reports. So
and resale, right? So
resale
for luxury vehicle resale, yes.
And they just got a really good job with interiors. Those interiors are just, they
Do you guys know that
nice.
signature Lexus smell?
Yeah, you can get it as a diffuser. Did you know that? You can.
What?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
You can get that one. You can get Genesis and Buicks if you just want to,
So let's talk about Volvo for a second. Volvo is considered, widely the safety standard, especially for families. The XC90 is beautiful. I mean, they're pricey. There's no doubt. They're pricey, but they are solid vehicles. And I know there's one that Aaron particularly likes.
I'm a big fan of the Wagon. So I like the V series, right? So the V60 is the Wagon now. Just beautifully done in every way.
What's awesome about it? Like, what do you love about it?
So from the exterior looking at it, it has that classic European estate look, which is sort of a saloon, so a little bit longer hood, and then just the Wagon body that tapers ever so slightly at the end and creates that sport sport look. So in a European estate, a sport estate, will have kind of a fast-paced look to it. And then on the inside, it's huge. You think of it, it's just a car, but it's actually huge on the inside with tons of cargo space. And you can get it with all-wheel drive. You can get it
for all-wheel drive.
And you can get it with the what do they have? They have a turbo 4 and a 6-cylinder, I believe, for that. And it drives wonderfully. It drives like a small car. So it feels like a small car on the road, but not in a sporty way. It's not, it's not a sports vehicle. It's a regular everyday vehicle. Feels really
Aaron,
good.
I kind of need to know.
I need to know more about that.
What song you'd put with that, Aaron. What song would you put with that Wagon?
Song in that car? That's the problem. See, it's not a heavy metal car. So I can't play like real heavy metal in that car. It doesn't sound right. You have to go over to the symphony and you're listening to, you're something a little bit hard maybe, but not quite into the Beethoven range. Not that, but maybe Vivaldi, something like that. Right. So it's a fast-paced, nice movement, lots of strings, but not grinding or heavy on any of the brass or the percussion. So it's just a nice vehicle. It makes you think you're in Europe when you're in the vehicle.
I want to be in Europe. I haven't been there since COVID. So, I want to go. It's on my list. Okay, if you were going to Europe, which family car would you take? Get sent over.
Drive around in Europe?
In Europe.
Oh, I have to send it over, or can I just get a European one?
Get a European one. What's your pick?
Get a European one? I want one that has something exotic. So I want like a Renault. Renault they have a signature look first off, so you always know what it is. But I want their new SUV because it has that. To me, because I'm American, it looks goofy, but I know it's got to be cool, right? It's got to be awesome. Or Citroën, anything with Citroën's name on it, and that's because I'm a big fan of the Deux Chevaux. Kristen knows this. So the 2CV is the coolest little car ever. They don't make it anymore, but they make other stuff. Okay. I want to know what car she would drive in Europe.
Me? I want a sports car. Because I rarely ever
Have
get
the
to
new
drive a
Lexus
sports car.
convertible, the LC convertible.
Oh, yeah.
Porsche has the Macan and other SUVs.
I actually like those. I like the Macan. That's pretty, but it's kind of small on the inside. It is small on the inside, but it's really pretty.
It's a sports car though.
It's a sports car
with an SUV on it.
It's It's got the soul of a sports car.
I drove one in the snow. It was so much fun.
Ooh, ooh.
That's right.
I've only
But what
driven the
about
Cayenne.
Kristen?
What do you want,
What
Kristen?
would Kristen drive?
You know, if I'm in Europe in the summer, if you're in the city at all, you need to have something fairly small, right? So,
Right.
but if you're, yeah, it depends on if you're bringing the kids or not, right? Like, I think a Jeep Wrangler would be really fun. Take the tops off. You can still park it, most places. They're not huge.
And
A
everybody
Miata,
still knows you're from America.
that's okay.
So actually, they sell those there.
I'm okay
Texas.
with that.
You'll be Texan. There.
Yeah.
Another car that I had
That's a good
recently,
choice.
though, the Nissan Murano, I think is underrated, and it's
Mhm.
so easy to drive. You can park it easily. It feels like a car, but it has that extra space of a small SUV. I really enjoyed it.
And it's really pretty.
It's pretty.
It's very pretty.
It's very pretty.
The
Especially
design, the
that orange.
lines.
That orange color they have for it is just
I know, it's great. It's fun.
Ooh.
It's like, it's got personality without being loud. Like, hey, red sports car.
Keep up with the channel, folks, because we have a review of that coming really quick.
We do.
I gotta
All
look
right,
at that.
Tia, do you have any last advice for single parents and looking at vehicles?
Don't be scared of shopping around. Do not be scared to shop around. Look for what you love and then go find it. Make your list of what you want. So you need 5-seater, whatever it is you need, then go find it. And don't just be one brand. Go compare them. You'll find something awesome.
And find a dealer that's going to treat you with respect. And
That's what I'm
if
saying.
they don't, get out of there.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And most general car buying advice, of course, applies too. So don't jump on the first thing that you see.
Mhm.
Spend the time, know what you want, take the time and wait if you need to, because prices flux a lot. And there are certain times of year that may or may not be better than other times of year to buy a car. And also
Yes.
watch your credit. Before you go apply for that loan, make sure that you've done all the things to maximize your credit rating. So pay down your debts, so your credit cards are under 30% and that sort of stuff so that your number's higher.
We should do that
You
one.
get a better deal.
That'd be a great video for people. How
There's
to
a
buy
lot of
car.
those videos out there if you go look for them. I'm not a financial advisor, so
You're a real life person. That's
Right.
even better. Space, audio, good trunk,
Smooth drive.
smooth ride.
So
Yeah.
there we go. I think we covered it.
Thanks, Tia. Thanks for joining us, Teia Collier. Check her out at Dallas Single Parents. And don't
Be a
forget to
link.
subscribe to us.
Look
Yes.
down there. There's a link. All this stuff. And hit subscribe. And hit the bell.
Subscribe.
All the other good stuff.
That's awesome.
Right. This has been Aaron.
Thanks for joining us. This was Kristen. Thanks for joining Drive Mode Show.